Cindy Pullett.
And I'm Elizabeth Thompson.
And today we will be exploring the East Branch of the Rahway River in South Orange, New Jersey.
Now this river is a small part of the big connections in this watershed.
Now if you didn't know, a watershed is an area or a ridge of land that separates rivers, basins, or oceans. In fact, this whole area we're visiting today is called the Arthur Kiel Watershed.
One of the many watersheds located in northern New Jersey.
We all know the best part of an adventure is when you really get into the environment.
And in this adventure, getting wet.
But before we go down to the water, we should learn a little bit about the area first.
This area that we are visiting today has a very interesting landscape.
Because South Orange is near the edge of a watershed, most of the landscape is downhill. So when it rains, the water has to go somewhere. And where does it go? Straight to the nearest body of water.
Now, to steer clear of floods and other problems due to excessive runoff, storm drains are placed all around. So now when it rains, the water goes from here
to here. Now before you go into a river, there are some certain precautions you need to take.
1. Always protect your feet by wearing boots.
2. Enter the river at an appropriate access point.
3. Never go in the river alone. Always have a buddy.
4. Don't bother any wildlife you come across.
5. Try not to remove any natural resources from the river.
6. If you're unsure of if something is safe, ask a parent, teacher, or guardian.
7. Always wash your hands thoroughly after working in the river.
And after we've gone over everything, it's time to go in the water. When most people think of riffles, they usually think of the common potato chip with a distinct look. But in this case, when I say riffles, I'm referring to these. These riffles cause oxygen in water, and the more riffles you see at a river, the healthier it is.
From flowers to baby trees, vegetation is everywhere throughout our river, giving animals a healthy place to thrive. Have you noticed these boulders and how they don't look very natural? Well, that's because they aren't. Because of erosion, which is gradual destruction of something, and in this case the banks, South Orange has invested in these boulders to keep from flooding the area.
So right now we're out here in the river, and sadly the first thing we find is something that's not living. If you look down here, you can see a fish that obviously looks dead. Now the reason is because the water is not very deep, so it's hard for fish to survive in these environments. Thank goodness we've seen some other life in these areas. If you look over here, you can see a mallard, which has the green area on its head, and the duck, which is mainly brown, so it blends in with the area. Now if you look really closely, you can see 3 lumps, and if you didn't know, those lumps are frogs. Another part of the many wildlife in the Rahway River. From on the banks to in the river, pollution is one of the most common things seen in local rivers. Pollution is not only a danger to the health of a river, but it's also a danger to the lives that inhabit it. And here to talk about macros is the ambassador for our watershed, Brittany.
Hi. So I'm going to talk about macroinvertebrates. This is something that we do as a biological assessment for our streams to tell the water quality. So right here I have some pictures of some sensitive and somewhat sensitive bugs. And on the back here I have some tolerant bugs to pollution. So these are all in 3 different categories. And depending on the kinds of bugs that we find, you can tell the quality of the stream. Okay, so here I have a midgefly larva. This is a bug that is in that really tolerant of pollution category, and mostly in this water I'm finding this bug, so that would indicate that this water quality is pretty poor, and the reason I think for that is because there isn't a lot of habitat. Habitat would be things like leaf packs and rocks and riffles, and there's not a lot of canopy cover along the stream, and that will improve the water quality to make it cooler. So an improvement I would make to the east branch of the Rahway River is create more of a buffer along the river by planting trees and other vegetation.
Every year, the people of South Orange and Maplewood gather together at their local rivers to pick up trash. This day has become to known as River Day.
But you don't have to wait till River Day to pick up trash. If you're walking along the streets and you see some garbage by the banks, just pick it up.
And to all you future picker-uppers, happy cleaning!
Well, have you noticed the boulders in the area and how they don't look very natural? Well, that's because they aren't. Because of erosion, which is gradual destruction of something, in this case the banks, South Orange invested in these boulders.
Oh, they totally felt threatened. Every year, the people of South Orange Maplewood gather today.
This is our cameraman Drew with an exciting discovery.
We found a bike in the river on River Day. It's not a complete bike because it's missing the wheels, and there's plenty of trash just lying around on it. So it's not easy to carry, but we must do it for the health of the Rahway River.
There you go, picker-uppers.